Hey guys, what's going on? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Happy Good Friday. Happy Easter to all you guys. Whether you're celebrating Easter or not, the holidays are always just a great way to get together with family, friends, right? Do a little work, catch up on some things, but it's a time to be united with your neighbors and your friends and your family, and that's awesome. So guys, enjoy your day off. I wanted to make a video on something that one of our members in our chat room had asked me to do that I thought would be really relevant to what everybody is probably seeing out there. Right now, the IPO market has been like red hot. So like if you're looking, probably you guys saw Pinterest, right? That's where you put like, make the boards for like your cheese plates or bras or whatever it might be. I'm not really sure, but right, I've seen some people talk about it. So like Pinterest was an IPO that came out on Friday. This ZM was a big IPO that came out on, it would have came out on Friday also. Probably many of you guys have heard of like JMIA. This was an IPO that really almost went up like 100% in a couple days. And there's been tons of other ones that have been really flying around. I'm sure the main one everybody always talks about is LYFT, but it's been a dud. One of the things with IPO stocks is like the IPOs that nobody's heard of end up being really the hottest ones because they have a little bit lower float and they have less market cap. Obviously with something IPOs and it has like a $50 billion market cap, it's not going to have as much upside, right? Like how much can a $50 billion taxi company go up or whatever it might be, right? And so usually it's like the thinner, unknown IPOs that end up, really being hot. But a few people have asked me, like, how do you trade something the first day, right? So that's something that's obviously we trade technical analysis and chart patterns and news. But like something comes out the first day, there's not necessarily a pattern there. So like, what do you do? So first I want to talk about in this video, like how to find them, right? Like how do we actually go about and find these new issues? And there's just a few simple ways. And then, what is a common trading pattern that we could use to actually be able to get in and out of these things effectively? Because I know, like, if I was brand new, I would think, well, isn't it risky to buy something on the first day because you don't have, right, set reward to risk levels necessarily, or, a lot of things that you might be thinking, but that's not true, right? Because when we have an IPO stock, we use a handful of simple strategies, and we still measure our support and resistance, very similar to like when a stock opens up and it has fresh news. So let's take a look and see, like, well, first of all, like, how do I go and kind of look about some of these things? So I use, and NASDAQ has, an IPO calendar too. But I just use this IPO scoop. It's something I've looked at for the last few years. And it's got something that's, just like a really simple layout and stuff like that. And so, like, what you'll see on this thing is, you'll have like all this kind of stuff here, just categories of IPO buzz. And so I like to kind of read these. So you see here, like, okay, PagerDuty, that's the PD, Pinterest, Zoom. So like anytime I just see something, we were trading this Levi and also LYFT. So like anytime I see something on here that they're kind of doing an IPO buzz about, I like to kind of just check things out. And I kind of fart around on the website and, see what's going on. And I'm not sure why they're not showing anything on the calendar. They usually do. It might be my Brave browser, but they've got some cool tools on here that you can like look up like the other IPOs that have come out, pipeline. And then also, we do some more swing trading type stuff on lockup periods. So you could use something like that. NASDAQ has also IPO, an IPO calendar. So you could come in here, but sometimes I like to just check a few different websites to see like what's going on. So you can use the NASDAQ and see like, okay, is there something hot coming up on the NASDAQ? And then, you just want to put them on a list. The other easy way too is just like in our chat room and right, other chat rooms, you have so many people that trade news and stuff. And so, we typically stay up current with what's happening, even if I'm not necessarily sitting there reading all the articles, which is also awesome. But I want to talk to you about a setup that, we use a lot when we're trading these IPOs. And what I do is, like, we usually, like, I like to let them open up. So there's, we do trade them at the open, but that's a little faster and a little bit more complicated of a trading pattern in terms of your reflexes. So I'll leave that to another day. I think that's going to be a longer kind of video. But what I want to talk to you guys about is how to use the VWAP indicator to measure whether the buyers or sellers are in control of a particular IPO, and then how would we start to profit on this. And so one thing to kind of be mindful of, and we did this with like this JMIA, was same type of deal, like this type of, see how this IPO, like it ran from 18 to 25, and what happens here is, like, throughout the day, as long as it's starting to hang over the VWAP, right? What that means is that the buyers are in control of the particular stock, that there's not any heavy selling coming in. And remember, like, a lot of these IPOs might be priced at, like, say $10 and they open at $20 and then they run up even more. So they're a little bit extended. As long as they're hanging out over the VWAP, I find that they're bullish, and I usually start to look at them for like potential like end of day runs, and then also like next day plays, using something similar. So you see like how this JMIA, right? It's just hanging out all day, and then like right into the close, right? You see that like monster ramp. So there's two different avenues of, playing these things. One of them is like, okay, you're accumulating some on dips, and then you're just kind of, right, using like a stop under the range to get out, right? And then you can finally play into the thrust. The other one is to just time it to the, T, and when you get the 9 EMA curls for the girls up, you take the trade and you shred it into the next day. So that's like your common kind of trading pattern. And you can see like the next day, there's something similar happened. Like this thing was hanging out under the VWAP, and as soon as it broke back above, it started to really, really get cooking on exactly how, like the speed of it. And we did a similar play, in pins a couple times during the day. With pins, this is Pinterest. You can see how like this stock opened up, and then like it came back down, bounced off the VWAP, had a nice kind of dollar pop, and then it came back down. It actually broke under, but and that can happen sometimes, right? It's a little bit of a shakeout. If it breaks under, then a lot of times you're just out of it. But what happens is if you start to remount the VWAP, that's a remount pattern is really it's really powerful, because it's telling you that that's essentially a shakeout. So you're getting a double kind of confirmation that that level is holding. So what you can see here is like you see you're starting to test the VWAP. You just kind of keep pulling back, and you'll see a lot of these stocks kind of run like into the close and then start to push. And so that's just a simple way of really measuring, whether something is playable or not. For example, like this Zoom, we were looking at this like all day, but you could see like how much messier the chart was. Like it just could not, it opened up and it crossed back under, then it like broke over the VWAP, and then it broke back under. And so like, because it wasn't like clean and kind of hugging it, that becomes a pattern that's like much less reliable. And so like, we didn't take trades in this because I wanted to see this thing pop and then hold over that VWAP and really start to build when you're doing that. And if you can't do that, then, I want to be just completely, I want to be completely out of it. And I think that's something that's just a nice, easy way to start measuring whether you want to start, even taking the, these type of trades. It's the same thing with this like TW. If you see here, the day that, it opens up, like it opens up, and then, right, like all these kind of dips towards the VWAP really, really start to get bought. And that's when you start to see, that's when you want to start to see the push. And this is not the IPO day, but this is just essentially kind of how some of these bad boys typically run. So hopefully that helps. Big thing, the takeaway of this thing is, number one, check and see like every day what IPOs are out, or you can just do it like once in a week. And then once they open, there's opening range trades that you can do like in the first 5 minutes. But once like the thing settles, right? Once the thing settles, because that's the easier play is always once it settles. Once it settles, start to watch that VWAP area. Watch to see how it holds there. It starts to build up energy in its pattern, and then you can use that as a way to manage your risk and also to get your run in terms of timing your entry. So hopefully that helps, guys. And as always, you guys are welcome to come in and hang out in our chat room and stuff. We got a good group of guys in there that are pretty funny and cool dudes. It's an awesome community. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, you can email me too at canal@bulls.ws. Hit me up anytime. Take care, guys.